Welcome to Founders Future, a podcast powered by Closers.io, where we dive into the journeys of innovative entrepreneurs and explore the road ahead of them and their companies. I'm your host, Olivia Salmons, and in each episode we'll uncover the stories behind impactful ventures, the challenges faced along the way, and the strategies driving their future growth. Today, I'm very excited to be joined by Desi Karandaglidis, the founder of Desi K Health, a women's health nutritionist and period coach. Desi works with women to help them eliminate painful periods, balance their hormones, and feel more in control of their health using holistic nutrition and personalized support. Her work is rooted in her own experience and focuses on solving a problem that many women deal with, but often feel stuck with. Desi, welcome to Founders Future. Thank you so much for joining me here today.
No worries. Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
It's a pleasure to have you here, and I'm very much excited as well to dive in and learn a little bit more about your journey. So, Desi, with all of my guests, I do actually like to start at the beginning. So if you don't mind briefly taking me back to what it was you was doing before you started up Desi K Health, and then from there, what was the motivation behind it?
So it was probably around, it would have been around 2017, 2018. I had my personal Instagram account and I thought, I just want another one where I can just post fitness and health related content. And I started, it wasn't called Desi K Health at the time, it was called something else. I don't remember what it was, but it was just a place for me to spam everyone with just health, fitness, all that sort of content. And I graduated with a Bachelor of Food Science and Nutrition. And when the world went a bit loopy in 2020, I knew I wanted to use my nutrition degree for something, and I didn't know what, because I have an interest in, of course, fitness and sports and also women's health and also just general health, like healthy in general. And I was like, well, periods and women's hormones is just something that just really frustrates me. Like every time, I completely understand there is a time and a place for going to the GP and everything, but when it comes to like my periods, they're not helpful, and it was just really frustrating. And yeah, and I remember hearing it was on a podcast. I don't remember which podcast, but the host was like, "Oh, it's not normal," and I was like, "Okay, like this person's not okay. Like that's like it is." And then I was just hearing that over and over again, and I thought, maybe there's some truth to something. So I just, started working on my own journey and healed my own period pain. And then I really started to, post more and educate more. And I guess that's how things started for me.
That so kind of started, I suppose, not in a rude way, but more like accidentally, as you say, it was more just expressing kind of your interest within the health and nutrition world, and then obviously putting your degree to good use. I come from a very similar degree and background. Mine was in sports development, nutrition science, so I kind of understand the lines you're coming from, and naturally, as you say, I think the problem with periods as well, they often get a bad rep in the media. I think obviously since I've been growing up, social media's helped that a lot. There's less stigma about women talking about what they're going through every month and how it may be. But there's still not a lot of guidance or like clarity on over what is healthy, what isn't healthy, how do we go about regulating that and balancing that. And then naturally leading into the menopause, it's such a big mystery for most women. So just providing a lot of clarity in that essence and in that space must kind of feel we have a lot of fulfillment along the way. And then naturally I'm having to develop a coaching offer at the back of that is a really cool experience, and just moving it forward from there.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Like, I mean, I know it happened like 4.5 years ago, but every month it's like, oh wow, like this is so cool. And then obviously, helping, clients here and there when you get, messages saying, oh my God, I don't feel anything. Oh my God, I feel amazing. Oh my God, I feel empowered. It's like, this is so cool because like you said, it wasn't spoken about. Like I remember I would have been like 13, 14 and seeing an ad on the TV and everyone just looked thriving, which I mean, yes, I feel that way now, but when you're in the depths of it, it's like, no.
Even now, I look at it and I'm like, that's not even thriving, because like it does kind of cut you out of the month for 4 days, or like for 4 days, sometimes for a whole week. So it's nice that you are providing women with that clarity around their health and then moving it forward from there. Did you always see yourself becoming an entrepreneur, or is that just another added bonus on the side of it, I guess?
Honestly, no. I like 10 years ago, I would have been I only remember this the other day, but I said to my partner, if I ever want my own business, talk me out of it. I don't want it because like all four of my grandparents have businesses. My parents have a business, and they're like, butcher shops, food and chip shops,
Nice.
like
Yeah, yeah.
mechanic stores. So they're all, you can see them physically doing work. And I was like, I don't want to wake up at 4 a.m. and come home at 7 p.m. Like, but just the online space and seeing what was possible. And I think 2020 and all the lockdowns really helped with that, like just seeing what's possible and seeing how, like, when you work on something that you're passionate about, it doesn't feel like work, it feels relaxing.
Yeah.
And yeah, like I used to think having a business meant like just just running up the down escalator, running up that, and it's just like hard work and being like, but not in a good way, hard work.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, never thought I'd be down the.
Yeah. Yeah, the online grind is a lot different, as you say, more of like the traditional forms of setting up a shop. My parents had restaurants as well, so it is, as you say, like I didn't want to be the one that was locking up at 2 in the morning to then get home to go back and do it again at 6 a.m. Like that was always my idea of entrepreneurship as well. So I know exactly kind of thing you come from. But yeah, as you say, COVID kind of I think it broadens everybody's eyes of what was possible online. It obviously gave people a lot of time to kind of play with it and study a bit and see what they could do. So it was just moving forward from there. So let's dive into that aspect a little bit more, just so the listeners can have some context on what we're actually talking about. So when it does come to Desi K Health, who at this point in would you say like is your ideal client? Like who is it that you very, very much love to work with the most, Desi? And then from there, how is it you help them? And how would you support them along their own journey?
Yeah, so I'd say my ideal clients probably anywhere from teenagers, so women that have just gotten their period, to women in their 20s and women in their 30s as well. Women that just every month it's like, oh God, my period's coming up. Like I'm not looking forward to it, and it's painful, it's irregular, they're PMSing, and they want something different. And
Mm,
my approach is very holistic. So obviously we cover nutrition, but we also cover mindset, lifestyle, and belief work. So a big part of what I do is looking at stress and how that impacts, because I know a lot of people are like, oh, like I'm not stressed. Like, I have a job, I have a house, and it's like, no, no, no. Stress is so much more than that. Stress is an argument with your best friend. It's sitting in traffic. It's petrol prices. It's like having a mortgage. It's,
mm,
like you ate breakfast too quickly. It's scrolling
yeah,
too much. Like that's all stress, and it just really bleeds into every area of life. And another big part of what I work with my clients on is looking at belief work. So, did you grow up in a house where everyone just criticized being a woman? Like, men have it easier. It sucks being a woman. Period sucks. Like, did you grow up hearing that? Because if you grow
yeah,
up hearing that, then you're just going to think, well, like, why bother even trying to like feel good about it? Like, and just really dismantling a lot of those beliefs about periods, and how lucky you are and how special you are. And I do work with my clients, obviously, like I prefer to work with clients in a 12-week capacity. Obviously,
cool.
some of them just want to dip their toes in, so we do once-off sessions. But with 12 weeks is really my favorite part, because they have Telegram support, they have access to resources, and it really gives us a chance to just really make sure that what we're doing
Yeah,
sticks and works. And I always say it takes, well, not always say, it does take roughly 3 months for an egg to grow and mature. So I always say that, your period is a reflection of your life 3 months ago. So the 12 weeks really just helps to, you know, prove to
yeah.
the client that what we're doing is working. Obviously, some are a little bit shorter, some are a little bit longer, but that's generally how I work through my clients, and how I work through my clients.
Yeah, beautiful. I love the time frame. As you say, like it gives you enough time to really see if that work's taking effect, and the evidence is coming into play. Naturally, with the odd session, it's kind of hard because you can't control people outside of those sessions. So yeah, I can understand why leaning more towards a program is beneficial for everybody, not just yourself, but your clients are going to get better results at the end of the day. So it's very much, as you say, it's a compounding effect when you are doing this kind of work. I love the fact that you're taking it like I know you said holistic from the start, but it's more of like a 360 holistic approach, not just looking at the body, but the mindset and everything else revolved around it, because that is so important as well. I didn't even think of that one, as you say, if you're growing up in a house of where you always like women, like how lucky you are to have your period and blah, blah, blah. Like it does have an effect on your mindset. So just taking that into consideration, at least you're not blaming yourself, you're not putting yourself in that bad state, because we all know when your hormones rise, everything that you're feeling is automatically like amplified. So just getting those negative thoughts out of the way and just realizing it can be something we can work through and taking those steps is a really cool approach. So I take it you're very much like in the trenches with your clients, kind of figuring out the whole day to day and working your way like that.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So yeah, a big part of what I do, so they get onboarded at the start, and
Yeah.
a big part of the coaching container is Telegram support. So just going back and forth and like, like what what are you doing to manage your stress? Like what habits do you have? How are we going to make sure that, we stick to these new habits of, drinking enough water and what does your breakfast look like? Or are you having breakfast and things like that, just really trying to nail the basics. But I think it's, one thing that I've seen a lot, especially recently, is just nailing stress first because that just really
Yeah.
plays into everything, and just keeping on top of that.
Yeah, 100%. That spikes cortisol. Not only your like nervous system is already through the roof, you're like infecting everything else. And as you say, stress isn't like necessarily everything that happens in your day. It can literally be from the sake of like you're running 5 minutes late and then you lose your keys. Naturally, your stress is going to increase. So as you say, it's just all those little compounding things that we have to kind of keep an eye on that we don't even know could be an effect or could be like hindering us in the wrong way. So yeah, those into like intertwined details, you have to work very closely with your clients to get that. So that's a really cool aspect. And now, one thing I'm very curious to find out, because like you'll know yourself, it's a very busy noise, a very busy world at the moment. There's a lot of noise going on, especially within like the health space. It's very much having its time to shine at the moment. So, in terms of like marketing yourself and just acquiring those right kind of customers, like what is working well for you at the moment? What channels and methods are really kind of giving you success in just finding those right people to work with?
I'll say Instagram and TikTok are the best. Obviously, because I mean, if I was my ideal client, that's where I'd be hanging out. And I think just making content that it's not, I wouldn't say triggering, but more so like, hey, it's going to grab their attention, like
Nice.
rather than just like educational and value based, like something that's like, I think an example was like, if you've been told that, I don't know, sorry, I just jumbled on my words. Like a
Good.
piece of content. It was like a B-roll, so just of me drinking coffee, and it was like the text was like, if you've been told that periods isn't important, you need to block that person. So something that's just really grabbing, that's
Yes,
just going to
yeah.
make someone think, oh, what's she talking about? Um, and also in a way that's like, talking about how a different my approach is compared to like a traditional nutrition approach as well. So yeah, I find that's the best way to get clients. And again, when I post those pieces of content that are more in the triggering sense, you have people that are like, what? No, like it is normal, like it's true and whatever. And then some of them are like, some of them you need to, it takes a while for them to come around and be open to like entertain the idea. Whereas some are like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like I was just really triggered by what you said, but can you help me?
Yeah, no, I like it. And as you say, it's kind of going against the grain, I suppose, is a nice way to put it as well. Because either way, you get some attention. You only get the people that agree with you, that don't agree with you, but they're kind of still entering your world and will follow you in the same aspects. I also enjoy the two platforms you're on, Instagram and TikTok. As you said, naturally, teens and any woman between 30 is going to be on there. But they also provide you with a very different audience on each one. I find TikTok can be quite like a cult following. They're very intense on TikTok, it's like moving forward from there. And then Instagram is naturally like a softer approach. So building it on the two is really cool. And with the like, oh my God, what's the word? With the content you are putting out, is it very organic on your upfront, or do you run any form of ads, maybe just to help with the consistency or even increasing your ecosystem a little bit?
It's just all organic at this stage. Yeah.
Cool. So taking time moving it forward. And then I suppose you have a team that are helping out at all, Desi, or are you pretty much wearing all the hats yourself as a founder at the moment?
It's just me balancing all the plates myself. Yeah.
Cool. How are you finding that? Because obviously there's a lot of goes into it more than just coaching. Is there certain aspects of the job that you very much enjoy that you didn't realize you would, becoming an entrepreneur, I guess?
I do enjoy all of it. In saying that though, I do find editing videos can be a bit time consuming.
Yeah,
Um,
training
yeah,
is the word I like to use.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, I love all of it. Like, I think
Cool.
what I love the most is developing recipes and typing up recipes and things like that, which I never thought I'd love that the most. But yeah, I love all of it. And it gets to like the end of the night and it's like, oh, I have to go to bed now.
Oh, that's good though. I think especially when you're an entrepreneur, because you all know there is so much to do and so many hats you have to wear. The fact that you find enjoyment in each aspect is really cool because, as you say, if you're like wishing that you could wake up the next day just to get back to work is such a good feeling. Not a lot of people can say about even their own job they've built for themselves. So that's a pretty cool aspect. And I suppose with that being said, what are your visions or your ambitions for the company moving forward? When you think of maybe like the next 6 to 12 months ahead, what are those goals or those milestones that you're looking forward to achieving?
Oh, so I've got a lot. I don't know if you're familiar with her name's Stephanie Hewson, Exo Gingy. She's a business coach. She has like a ton of different offers, like different programs, different offers. So that's kind of like I want to be that, but like for periods. So you have different programs like a program for period pain, a program for coming off the pill, a program for getting your period back, a program for managing endo, and like all these different programs. I'd also love to have like different cookbooks. So like a breakfast cookbook, a Christmas cookbook, like a just slow cooker, healthy meals, all that sort of stuff. Working with one-on-one clients cheaper more so to reduce capacity, like, maybe 5, 6 at a time. But yeah, that's my big vision, just to have like lots of programs and just really help like
Yeah.
mass help everyone. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. So as you say, more of like the evergreen model, as you say, where you can get those programs out, those cookbooks, enjoying those recipes, writing them up into an actually something official. That's quite exciting. And then
Yeah.
pushing out from there. As you say, you have a bigger reach, you get the impact, and then you can be boutique with your one-to-ones and just really much keep that a nice business for yourself moving forward, which is a really cool vision. And I suppose where are you probably finding the biggest challenge for yourself in achieving that?
I think it's more so like trying to not convince someone, but trying to, break that stigma that like, hey, like there's another way to heal your period pain, and just trying to get people on board with that. Because when I first found out, I was like, no, they don't know what they're talking about. Like, and then with that comes the whole like, you're not a doctor, like you don't know what you're talking about, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Just trying to really just um, help people see that there's another way to doing things.
No, I get you. And there is a big stigma involved with it. And I think naturally it's kind of slowly changing. I think the more noise is coming about the menopause, slowly it will trickle down into anything to do with obviously the women's system and what's going on. So yeah, it is slowly getting its time to shine. And I think you will be part of that wave moving forward. It's just, well, how can you kind of help enhance that and get the knowledge out there to people and lean into that content a little bit more. Um,
Yeah. Yeah, like I've had like so many of my aunties be like, "Oh my God, if I knew what I knew at your age, I
right.
I wish I knew that." And yeah, I think it makes me feel good, but also it's like, "Oh, I'm sorry like that you went through that."
Yeah, I completely agree. I was actually having a very similar conversation with I'm actually around mindset the other day. Again, ties into exactly what you're doing and trying to help with, because women their age didn't have it like we do now. And even myself, I'm like, okay, I'm in my 30s, but at least I've had a little bit more knowledge than they've had about their whole body, their whole lives. So as you say, just kind of bridging that gap as best you can and taking those steps. And Desi, I do have one final question to ask you. So if you could go back in time to a younger self and you could only leave yourself with one piece of advice moving forward, something you know now, but that you didn't know back then, what would you say to yourself?
Um, oh well, I've really gotten stuck. Um, I never thought I'd have my own business. I never thought I'd go down that path. So I probably say to myself that like there are hundred ways to get to what you want, and it's always this or something better.
Oh, I love that. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
because
like
I
that piece of
yeah,
advice.
I thought like if I wanted like to have the impact that I have, like I have to be a doctor or be a psychologist or something like that. And yeah, like I just didn't think that helping people in this way would be possible. So this or something better. So it's coming.
I love that. That's so cool. And it is coming. And Desi, thank you so much for joining me today and for sharing your incredible journey and insight with us. Where can our listeners reach out best to work with you or connect with you if they would like to do so?
Yeah. So I need to get my phone up because I always forget this.
You're good. You'll be surprised. Nobody knows their any handles at all. No one. So it's cool.
Yeah, and when you're filling out a form via like on the Instagram app, and they're like, "What's
I'm
your
like,
handle?"
how do I check?
Like,
I do it all the time. I'm like, how do I know?
so yeah, so Instagram it's desi.k.health, And then on TikTok, it is the same thing, no dots, just one word.
Cool.
Yeah.
Lovely stuff. And Desi, thank you so much again for joining me today. I really appreciate your time. And to our listeners, if you enjoyed today's episode, please be sure to go and check out Desi. As she just said, drop her a message on Instagram, desi.k.coach, or TikTok, DesiKCoach. No,
Uh,
Desi K Health. Desi K.health
so
or
Desi dot.
Desi.k.health, Desi K Health. Um, Instagram, TikTok. Please go and drop her a message. I'm sure she'd love to hear from everybody. And do not forget to subscribe to Founders Future via wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. And if you are a business owner, specifically a coach, consultant, or agency owner, and you're really looking to scale your business and you want to enhance your sales and marketing efforts, visit closers.io to hop on a call with one of our team and discover how we went from $0 to $30 million per year in less than 3 years. But until then, keep on climbing, and we will see you on the next one.